Hey guys, ChainFire here and welcome back to another one of my War Robot videos. I hope you all enjoy the watch. This video is dedicated to the new prototype robot that we've been testing in the last test server and the one before it. The community has actually really taken to this robot. I've seen those who said that it has its pros and cons, and of course a lot of comments of people who liked it, a lot of people who didn't like it. But one way or another, this is actually something that may hit the live server, and this is why I think that this video is so important. Also, I want to go ahead and share with you one of the comments that I've got on the review that I made for this week's test server, where we were going over the new robot, the projectile weapon, and the map rebalances. I'm going to go ahead and read that out to you, and then we're going to talk a little more about this robot. So, Bag of Soup says, great insight and analysis on everything ChainFire. And your graphics and effects really helped to supplement your insights and commentary. I'm wondering if I'm giving the dash too much of a free pass on my thoughts. I thought it was a decently balanced for top play as compared to other similar bots like Doc, Rog, Fujin, Boa, etc. So I would prefer to leave dash as is and buff these other bots to compensate rather than knock dash down to their level, especially since most players are having to use their best hanger these days, and only so many bots and bot classes are viable at top play. Besides, if any of these potential bot buffs make them stronger for players at lower levels as they are still progressing, Pixonic can simply balance them and compensate of any buffs by reducing their speed and hit points at lower levels. I like the dash a lot, but considering that a good Plasma Gareth pilot can take them out as is, I don't see them as too overpowered for an unshielded bot. They are, at the very least, very fun to pilot. I would increase their cooldown past the Rog's cooldown. Rather, I would buff the Rog and Doc to semi-dash-like levels to increase their viability. Rog could be closer in stats since firepower is the same. Doc can have some less speed since it has essentially twice the variety of weapons or firepower. Thanks a lot for that, Bag of Soup, and that comment was actually a really good one. I do want to address this and everything that you said, and I want to talk a little bit more about this robot. A lot of people running this on test server were either not getting used to it or not finding the right way to use it. If you use this properly, this robot is way overpowered. Compensating by now going ahead and buffing all these other robots is basically going to change the game entirely and completely. So I mean, if you want to change the game entirely and completely, that's one thing. But if you want to keep the game as is, you're not going to be able to bring in this robot and keep it as is. You can tell from these videos, though it's sped up ×8, that this robot can be a real annoyance. A single robot like this is able to change games entirely and completely from one end to another. As far as beacon capturing, as far as getting behind enemy lines, as far as doing damage, as far as getting away from damage, distracting enemies. It is incredible. You can have several Fury Tridents looking at you and dying to kill you, and that in itself is a game changer. Because it could be that you have an entire team that is not very bright, but you can be that key player with just one of these robots. With a full hanger of these things, it's absolutely scary. It's super fast, and the leap is way too fast as well. On Yamantau, getting from spawn to spawn through center takes only 60 seconds. From spawn to B, 40 seconds. So just imagine this, I got here within 40 seconds, and look what a nuisance I am to the opponent team. In Springfield, on the other hand, getting to beacon A takes 20 seconds from spawn, and from A to B, only 23 seconds. It is not even a minute and a half from the beginning of the game, and I am behind the enemy spawn. I've been getting a lot of responses regards to my review, and a lot of people said that they think I'm wrong about this robot being too overpowered. I just want you guys to watch this and see. Never mind if it's too overpowered or if it's too fast, but even if just for being a nuisance. Imagine right now me being the player on the opposite team and doing what I'm doing to these guys, but doing it to you. Game after game with this hanger, I was getting incredible scores, and not only that, I know that the players I was playing with weren't nearly as good as they show in the scores, but the reason they were able to do so good is because of me. I'm also not saying I'm that good of a player, but any decent player, any good player can do exactly what I'm doing right now with this robot. I had so many good games with this robot that this video could go on for a good 20 minutes on the same speed that it is right now with all the recorded footage that I have. If based on this video you're already starting to agree with me and you see that potentially one full hanger of these robots can be terrifying, watch what happens when I'm running with 3 other players with the same hanger. This team we were up against was actually a pretty good team, but what we did to them, I'm pretty sure they won't forget for a while. Now unfortunately we weren't able to actually see the scores of this game because the test server closed just when we ended it, but still this was a crazy game. The dash ability is great, agreed, and I actually really like this robot, but his speed of 60 kilometers an hour is already enough for him to get away. His dash ability lets him get away from Orkans, from RDBs, and from Fury Tridents. He's able to do that more effectively than a Griffin, and that's in addition to the fact that he's actually protected and covered, and doesn't hover above objects while he's dashing. I'm going to actually finish off with some of my highlight moments in this test server with the prototype weapon. Like for instance, this Galahad, who has no idea I'm here, and gets taken out before he even knows it. Or this Fury. I take out half of his health with one of these stalkers with the prototype weapon, but I do get a taste of my own medicine here. Guess how much health a stalker will lose from a single shot from a Fury Thunder? 45,000 hit points. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the thumbs up so more people can see it. If you want to see more videos like it, hit the ChainFire watermark on the bottom of the screen to subscribe. I hope to see you guys real soon in my next video.